Hey, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. Effectively scouting on some of these smaller maps like mines can be very difficult. Sometimes when you load into them, you lose a little heart because you know it's just going to be a big pain in the rear in your little scout. When I meet these kind of situations, what I will do is basically decide that I am just going to be as annoying as possible. You may not be able to do a lot of the actual scouting roles. You may have to deal with the fact that you're kind of a crappy medium, but there are ways to still be effective, use the tank's mobility and spotting. So I'll try to work around the edges of the battle, get to places I can get to, hit people in the side as much as possible, and then attempt to do a little bit of scouting along the way. So here I am in mines in my Type 64, Tier 6 Premium Chinese Scout. Good little tank, Tier 9 battle. And I'll show you what I'm doing with my camera as we push. So immediately I decided I might try for the hill. And then as I looked at the setup, they're relatively fast mediums and the decent players that are driving them, I decided to try to grab this bush over here. And you will see what happens. I get spotted. So I see the Centurion, I see the AMX-12T. Had a relatively good chance of not being spotted by them, but their Type 64 moved way up to that corner right there. So I'm going to have to abandon this spot. Now let's talk about it. These two bushes, the one right here in front of me and the one that my crosshairs are on right there across the way, can be effective for spotting down this way. Usually nobody's going to push up through there, but you can spot the guys coming across, and more importantly, you can occasionally catch them, especially if you've got some pretty good spotting range and burn through, peeking around on those bushes up on that ridge right up there in front of me there. So it is not a great spotting place, but it is one of the rather forward spotting places that you can use on this map. Clearly in this case, with the Type 64 surprising me coming up there, I've got to get out. Noticed I'm a little late. I have to knock down a tree, and I'm very lucky I don't get wrecked by the 50 and the 7-1. Alright, 12T hits me. Pretty lucky overall. Now I know they're going to move up and use those bushes as cover, and I'm way out in the open, so I'm just going to have to change my plan and come back up here. So that didn't work. I did take a hit, and now I'm starting to pay attention to what's going on over here on the hill. And the 12T is there in the 64. So I have, at least with my spotting, kept them from pushing across on the 1-2 line, where you can see we are extremely weak. We've got a couple scouts down there, and that is it. Everything else is invested on the hill or over on the right side, on the east side. So we got the Centurion. Now he's coming across. Now this is going to be a point where I can be annoying. Just on the side of the battle, I'll just take some shots at him as he goes. I use this cover to try to cover myself up as soon as possible, and I'm able to get a little annoying damage onto that guy. Continue to work the edge. Now we got a problem over here, obviously, on the west side of the map. 12T E50 Centurion. Just take a couple more shots in here, see what I can do to this guy. Bounce one. And I've loaded the gold to do so. Carry 6 rounds in this thing. One of the few tanks that I consistently run out of ammo in, this in the Type 59. And now I've decided, alright, they know I'm there. I've taken some shots of opportunity. There's not much else I can do on this corner, but I have noticed that they've pushed back the guys that were working here in the middle, and we've got quite a few invested. So I'm going to change my plan. Instead of sitting here and poking and potentially get wrecked by one of these big guns, I'm now heading up this hill. So using the tank's mobility to change what I'm doing. There goes the 7-1. That'll work. I already got him. And now I'll move up to the top. Cost us a few tanks to get up there. Initially was going to go right, and then decided to come back left, because what I want to do is work on the tanks over on the west side of the map. Now, this is a decent little spot here. Anything with a bit of mobility can get up there. Typically scouts and mediums, and I see the 12T, who does not see me. Now I'm not sure what he thinks is going on there, but he doesn't do a lot of moving, so I'm just going to go ahead and invest as many shots into him as possible. He's going to disappear, but I'm going to fire anyway. He's probably not going to get away from me. And that is a skill you should have right there. People who have just gone dark, you know they haven't moved very much, go ahead and fire. I see a lot of people just don't do that. So get back up to this spot now and see if I can work on this E50 at all. Maybe worth a shot in there, but I think he was behind that rock. My concern now is that the Jag Tiger, the Yog Tiger there, is going to proxy light me, so I want to be very careful that I'm not poking around that corner. I get spotted by him with a proxy light, it takes 3 seconds for it to go off and somebody wrecks me from across there, meaning that E50 gets a shot in. He doesn't appear to be coming close enough to do it, so I haven't lit up. That's good. There's the 50 again. Got to adjust a little bit. Now let's talk a little bit more about the scouting portion of this. Some of you are probably wondering why I'm not over here spotting this way. The problem is the T-55 is tucked up under, and he will light me as soon as I get there. And I can hang out behind this rock, but there is some crossfire opportunity from the E50. They do have some arty that could splash me to death, so right now I don't feel like that's the place to be. I don't need to be over here because we own the east side of the map, so there's no enemies for me to spot this way. These guys are here, nobody's got past them, so there's no reason to be back on this back edge, which leaves me literally one spot to be, potentially right behind me in that bush right there, looking through these rocks to here, but that's a little far off, and it's going to be a hard time to see. It's going to be a hard, easy for me to say, it will be hard for me to see the WT. And these are the decisions I'm making right now and then. I see the 50 moving again. Got myself poorly positioned on here. You can see that I don't have the depression to make this happen. There you go. So just picking at the sides of the battle. That one got me spotted. I'm also a little bit concerned by arty. It would not be that easy for them to hit me there, but it is possible. And I missed the kill shot. Now there are very few of them left, so I've changed my mind about the usefulness of this area right here. With the E50 gone, there's no longer any crossfire from him across to me here. If I tuck up behind this rock where I'm going, T-55 can't hit me. It should limit the WT, and we are winning well enough that I will accept the danger from the arty for the moment. Because I know that at this point on the map, that JT is vulnerable to somebody sitting right where I am. Now I'm trying to track him. Bounce. He's got the back up. There we go. So now I've got him tracked. And every time I shoot, you see me pull out just enough to see what that T-55 is doing. Because I think he's probably going to look for a shot on me here, which he does. He kind of figures out that I'm tearing up this JT. That's fine. I'm going to probably accept a hit, and I got one. He's reloading. I'll take a quick snap, see if I can't pin his roof, but nope. Now back straight away to avoid the WT taking me out. Now, there's no real reason to sit there, and that WT is trouble. The T-55 is lighting us as we sit on that edge, so there's no reason to sit there. Thinking about it for a moment, and I decide the best idea here now is to completely change my position. So now I'm using the mobility of a scout, and I will actually get an opportunity to use a little bit of its view range. I know the WT is up on that promontory, and I need to get close enough that I can burn through and see that guy and either help my arty get him or take him out myself. Additionally, I would like a side shot on that T-55 if I can find one. So I have gone somewhere completely new. The enemy doesn't know where I went. I'm not continually lighting myself on the hill. And now they've got to think about what I'm doing. Thinking I might get that 55, but nope, they kill him. And now we're in great shape. Where can the arty be? The arty can be behind here. There's a rock over there. You can see it off to my left. That rock right there. Right there. Or potentially up here in this area here. There's another rock that they can hide behind. It's less likely. The problem with that spot is there's some barbed wire and things there, and it's easy to see if one of them's broken through it. So arty players rarely go there because they get countered. So I'm just going to move up. Initially looking left to see if he's actually poked around that corner. Now I'm just going to use these bushes and trees that are down. Looking over there again to see if he's there. There goes the binocs, and check it out. With the binocs burning, doing a little bit of the scouting thing. He's now spotted. He can't see me. And I take him out. At the end he sees me. Those are just trees, so they're not as good as a bush. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the left of this rock, thinking that I will proxy light him and then try to figure out if I can even get a shot on him. But interestingly, it turns out that he's actually over there, which was unexpected. He ends up being seen, not by me unfortunately, and he gets killed. And that's the end of the game. So there you go, a really small map, basically scouting in a closet. There are ways to be effective. You have to try to just be annoying to some extent you are basically a crappy medium, but there are a few things you can still do that most mediums can't do. Once you get up on a hill or some position like that, use the Scout's mobility and go somewhere else. Hopefully this helps. See you guys later.